I'd say don't do it right. Hi there. Welcome to the ACM Off-Campus Study Ambassador webinar. We have 3 of you joining us, which is wonderful. There are a couple folks who are not able to make it, and so we'll be launching in right now that you all are here. And we're real excited to hang out with you right now. Yes, I'm Katie Rose Brasden. I am the Senior Campus Outreach Coordinator. So I probably talked to a number of you as you were deciding what programs to go on and applying to programs last year, but we haven't said hey in a while, so hello.
And I'm Julie Lucas, and I'm the new Campus Outreach Coordinator, so I'm sure we'll be talking a lot more these next coming months.
And I'm Teresa Vasquez. I'm the off-campus intern, so I'm the one that's been emailing all of you about all of the information.
All right, and so we are going to turn our webinars off, our screen off. We also want to make sure that all of you can hear us, and so that will be something that we are going to check in. There is a small section on this where you can type in questions or things throughout our chat, so we just want to make sure that you all are able to hear, and we'll just hang out and wait for that. Fabulous. So it's launching.
Okay, so before we begin, let's talk about some logistics and some information that you need to know. We are recording this webinar for the ambassadors who couldn't come today, couldn't be a part of this. So we're going to ask you for you to keep your microphones muted unless you're talking. So there's going to be a control panel to the right-hand side where there's going to be a little microphone, and if it's lit green, it means you're unmuted. And if it's gray, it means you are muted, so you want it to be gray. We will put this webinar on our website, so if you have a desire to come back and watch it again, you can. And we're going to try to keep it under 45 minutes.
All right, so why don't we start out with hearing a little bit about you. You heard a little about us, so we'd like to know your name, your year, major, what college you're going to now, and what off-campus ACM program that you went on. So now you can unmute yourselves.
So have that little button glowing green if you all care. Hit R. Open up questions in chat. Can you open up questions and ask if you can hear us?
Okay, great. Okay.
Yay, Hannah, I'm so glad you can hear me, because that always makes me terribly paranoid. But if you want to unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about your experiences, that would be awesome. Okay, so on that control panel there should be a microphone button, and I'm hoping we can also potentially try to do it from our end. So we're going to try to do that really fast, because that would be a bummer if you guys did not get to talk. Okay. So I think we're both talk now. So let's try that.
Okay.
Hello?
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Okay, I unlocked it. Okay, cool.
Great.
Okay.
Fabulous. So, Monica, you want to tell us a little bit about your off-campus study experience?
Yeah, sure. I guess I can tell you everything that's on here. So I am currently a junior. My major is international relations, and my minors are gender and women's studies and I attend Knox College, and I was on the ACM Jordan program, so I was studying in Amman, Jordan last semester, and then this semester I'll be doing Japan study in Waseda, so in Tokyo, Japan.
You have excited for us, because we'll have heard from you a whole bunch throughout the process. And Hannah, are you able to hang out?
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I am Hannah. I am a junior. I'm an English major. and I was with Monica in Jordan, actually.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
it's
Uh,
Hi, Hannah.
Hey, Monica. And I go to Cornell College.
fantastic. Well, welcome. So you two ladies are the only ones who are able to join us live today, so we could leave a space for the other 7 people to introduce themselves, but we will refrain in the interest of getting you out of this webinar in a timely fashion. And so all of this will be made available, and there will be emails going back and forth between this new cohort, so you will get a chance to meet the other folks, but they will get to know a little bit more about you right now. So we are going to ask you to go back on mute if you can, or we will try to do it from our end just so that there's no more background noise throughout the rest of the presentation. All right. Thank you, thank you.
All right. So we're really glad you're here, and welcome to the team. You're now all off-campus study ambassadors, and you'll be joining a community that is already on your campus from past semesters. So we're glad that you're here.
So now that you're an ambassador, what does that mean? We're about to tell you. So it means this. You loved your experience off campus and want to share your adventure with other people, and you think an off-campus experience is amazing and a great part of being in college, and you want other students to join in on the fun. And all of that is true for you, but what do I need to do? And we're going to tell you that too.
So there's a lot of different ways you can connect with different students. You can do that by one-on-one meeting with students, by content creation, by connecting with different departments or offices on your campus, and by collaborating with us at ACM, especially the 3 of us. We'll be in close contact throughout the semester. So now how do you do all of those things? So I'm sure before you guys went off campus, you wanted to talk to students who had gone on the program so you kind of get a better idea of what the day-to-day is. So you guys are giving prospective students the opportunity to talk to you, and you can tell them your experiences. So you can meet with students one-on-one, get coffee, lunch together. You can also host information sessions about the program you went on, and you can also talk to different groups like clubs, classes, group life, sports teams, classes, and you can get creative with that as well.
So going beyond that, talking to your peers, we also find that faculty and staff members are usually huge advocates and resources for students thinking of studying off campus, and the biggest office that deals with that is your sort of off-campus study staff, but we also find that individual departments often have relationships with particular programs. So for example, if you're studying, for example, on the Japan study program, Japanese language instruction on your campus could be really key to that. Or since both of you did the Jordan program, looking at departments or offices or faculty and staff members who particularly deal with international students. And I know at Knox at least there's the Peace Corps prep program and things that those are all folks who interact with students on a different level, and so making sure that they know about how wonderful and sort of transformative experience you had is a really good way to turn them into advocates for other students. And so we encourage you all to absolutely go check in with your off-campus study staff, but then in addition to work with either offices who you already know or set up appointments and meet folks in your career center, international student services, residential life.
You can also create content for us. So every time you go off on a new adventure, you're bound to take photos and videos, and you're going to have a lot of stories to share. So we want to hear those stories. We want to see those videos and those photos. So if you have a blog or a travel piece that you're willing to write, we'll take it, and we will love to share it on our website and share that with prospective students, and anything that you're willing to come up with. And I will be checking in on you periodically throughout the semester. So if you don't know where to start, I can help you, you can help me, and together we can create content that can help promote these programs.
And then collaborate with us. Katie Rose and I are doing a few visits in spring. We'll be doing a lot more in fall, so we can collaborate even more then. But you can help us out by promoting our visits when we're coming on campus to other students, to let them know that we're coming on campus and want to chat with them. You can also assist with any projects we're working on, and help us out in any info sessions or off-campus study fairs that we do on your campus.
So what's in it for you? Why did you agree to help us out this semester? Well, you get a look behind the scenes what international education looks like. So you get to network with people in that field, people like us. You get to build up your resume. You get to connect with ACM alumni that you may have not met before, and then you get to earn some money too in the process. I get paid? Yes, you get paid. Isn't that great? And here's how it works. And so then we can talk about more logistics. So keeping track of your hours. So pretty much everything counts. As long as you're promoting our programs, you get paid for it. So talking to students, faculty, and staff on campus about our programs, sharing your story with us as staff so we can put that on our websites and help prospective students thinking about our programs, and participating on campus events like study abroad fairs or info sessions and panels talking about your experiences on campus. So the finer points. You get paid once in May at the end of the semester. We will send out a form for you to give us your direct deposit information so we can pay you. And we will, next week I believe, we'll send out a timesheet to help you track your hours. And we'll use the honor system, so it's totally up to you how many hours you want to work. We do have a cap of 15 hours per semester, so that's $150 per semester. And if for any reason you feel like you need to adjust your workload, we are more than willing to work with you and have you do as many hours as you possibly can and not overdo it. Like, you don't have to work a certain amount of time a week. It's totally up to your schedule.
So to get started, follow us on social media. So here we have our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Anything that we post, you guys can repost. You can also share any of our pages with any of your friends who are thinking about going off campus. And right now we just wanted to take a few minutes to kind of brainstorm different ideas to recruit students this semester. Maybe sharing photos, videos, or some stories with us so we can share that with students as well.
So we are going to turn back on our webcams, and you guys can definitely unmute and feel free to also turn on your webcams so we can all wave at each other. But we think that this is just a good time to hang out and talk about what some possible opportunities are. I know actually you both are on blocks and quarter systems, so it won't actually be the semester, but over the next couple of months, and it's just a weird thing. These are two of the only schools who are like that. And just sort of planning out over the next couple of months what are ways that you can be engaging, what are resources that we can be sharing with you as you do that work. So if you guys want to, yeah, absolutely.
No, they're good.
Fabulous. So this is also funny because this is normally a time where we have students talk to one another about what their off-campus study experience was like. And since you were on the same program, that might be as necessary, but who knows? Are good, exciting things that you have thought about after doing some reflecting over the last couple of months. So if you want to talk about those experiences, if you want to talk about some of the things that made you want to take this position and ideas that you have, we would love to hear them.
Actually, I guess my question is that I won't actually be on campus this semester because I'll be studying abroad again this semester. So does this also apply to next year then, or what? How long is this position?
Yeah, so two things. One, plenty of students do this work remotely, and so some of those, some of the things that particularly Teresa was talking about in terms of content creation, like you can be in Japan and write a reflection on something that you did when you were in Jordan. And so those sort of things are not bound to you being on campus. And additionally, because not a ton of students across all the ACM schools want to go to Jordan or want to go on any of our programs. They're small liberal arts programs. And so there might not be an alum on that same campus who did that program. And in that case, we sort of set students up and connect them via email. And so that's something that definitely you can be doing work over these next couple of months. And so it would be higher in the spring as well for students who have completed who are currently on off-campus study programs, and you guys just wouldn't have to go back through that hiring process if you decided you want to keep working all through next year. But I also know that there are a few folks who have applied for this position who are currently seniors, and sadly they would not be eligible for this position in the fall. Thank you for that question, because it's one that does come up, and
Yeah.
it's often folks are like, there aren't a ton of people who want to do my program on my campus. How do I make sure that I'm like spreading the word? And that's how we usually work that.
And you can just focus on maybe more social media or writing a blog, things that you don't need to be on campus to do to connect with students.
I guess for me, being on the block plan, semester-long programs are often competing with our single block programs abroad. So what would, I guess, what exactly would you be looking for somebody who comes from a school where we have a lot of abroad options, just not necessarily the full semester?
That's a really good question. I think that one thing that students in the past have found, when you talk about, what made you go on a longer program rather than one that would just be a block? And were there things, if you have, traveled or studied abroad for shorter periods of time, what were some of the differences in doing a semester-long program? Were you engaging differently with the place? Were you exploring differently or further? What was the independent study project like? So the things that can be really challenging, but then also really, really rewarding about staying in a place for several months. We think that those are ways to sort of get around that, or not to get around that, but to address students who, that might not even be on their radar, because they're like, you know what, I'm going to go off campus in block 4, and that's going to be my whole off-campus study experience. And so I think you all, having gone on these programs, have a really good opportunity to say, yes, travel's amazing, and studying abroad for this length of time is something different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Sure, and it does come up a fair amount, so I'm glad that you asked about it, because there are a couple of important.
I mean, I guess Hannah and I could talk about our experiences in Jordan if you want us to.
Sure. Either that or talking about maybe ideas that you are now thinking of back on your campus as you're going through this and being like, oh, I know a student group really, really learning more about this, or something like that.
Well, I know for me, one of the things our school does is have these residence hall programming events, and next week I'm actually going to be cooking one of the meals that we ate in Jordan for a select number of students. So
cool.
fingers crossed I can pull it off, but I'm hoping to introduce some different Arabic words as well as hopefully provide a palatable meal for about 20-ish students.
That's very cool. What are you cooking, out of curiosity?
I'll be cooking matluba. So it's a upside-down chicken, rice, eggplant, tomato meal.
That sounds amazing. And it sounds really, that is also a thing that if you take pictures of that, those are things we would love to promote and be a really good opportunity for you to be doing this program and then getting people by us we are already doing, which is sort of what we want this to be, that students come back really excited about their experience, and we want to be able to make sure that we're helping support you.
Cool.
So is there?
I know that individual students have messaged me, and so we've talked for a long time on Facebook or something, just to get the gist. And so I was on campus for a week, and then I'd meet up with them, or their girlfriends or whatever would be like, "Hey, convince my boyfriend to do this program. He wants to do it, but he's too lazy to start the application." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll go talk to him or whatever about it."
That's amazing.
And that counts.
That counts. Yeah, that works. Yes, absolutely. You retroactively say that happened after we hired you. Because I think that is the important part of saying, I know that sometimes applying can be a hassle, but this was a super worthwhile experience, and I got a lot out of it. So I'm glad to hear that you have already been doing that, which is ideal. But I think those Facebook messages and also sort of demystifying some of that process. So particularly for people who have never traveled outside the country before, of talking all right, ACM helped me get a visa, and here's how the flight went, and meeting my host family, and all these things that are unfamiliar in a lot of cases. I think that having you all talk about what that was like helps other students to imagine themselves there.
I have another question. There was a student on campus who was thinking about applying for the Jordan program, and then over our winter break, when Jordan went on the watch list, he has decided to withdraw his application for safety reasons. But what are some resources that we can direct people to, both Monica and I, having done the Jordan program, but also, if there are these travel warnings that come up for the different programs in the different countries, what are some resources that we can point to outside the U.S. State Department for helping people try to decide if that's the right option for them?
I think that you can also, if you feel like you don't really know exactly what to say, I think you can always shoot those questions to us, and we can talk with that student or have our program student talk with that student because they have gone to all of these different countries, so it can be a help to actually speak to someone who's gone there. So I would say anything that you can't answer, you're not sure about, just talk with us and we can.
Specific instance, I know that this is something that everybody who's involved in in international education is talking about and trying to see all right, where do we go from here? What does this look like? What does global learning look like in this context? And so those are questions that we are all grappling with. And I think that you can definitely talk to students honestly and say, you know what, it will be different than when I went because the world has changed. I will say that which you all know, and our local partners all over the world are also really good resources. So I know that specifically Ahmed East has backup plans in place at all times, so that students ideally would if they are on the program and something changes in terms of the geopolitical landscape, that there's a lot of talk of they could be moved to Morocco, they could be moved to another country to preserve some of what that educational experience is supposed to be like. With the understanding that we can't predict the future and we don't know what that looks like. And there are some schools and some students who are saying, you know what, and if the State Department has issued a travel warning, I'm not going to go there. And so then it's also talking about, all right, so what were the really, really valuable parts of my off-campus study experience, and are there ways that you can get some of those same things from another place in the world? So if it is part of the Arabic language acquisition, are there other ways that we can be studying this? Are there things that you learned through your independent study projects that either on another ACM program, or encouraging that student to not totally shut down on the possibility of going somewhere at all in the world? So acknowledging that things are strange and that we have a lot of systems in place and have worked with really, really reputable and well-rounded local partners for a long time, and so that helps us to be a little bit more flexible, but that also saying that at the end of the day, we want the student to make the decision that's best for them. So your guys' job is not to lasso unwilling people onto programs that they should not be doing. It's to make sure that you are encouraged to go, yeah, because that is not the point of the liberal arts or ethical study abroad. It's to encourage people to go for experiences that they might not have considered that you found really valuable. So that was long-winded, but it's a complicated situation.
No. And then in addition to that, how because ACM has multiple different programs, so if a student approaches you and asks you kind of about a program that you don't know that much about or that you haven't experienced, what are the best options and the resources you can provide them?
That's a great question, and it comes up all the time.
Yeah. Well, you can direct them to, and there's also off-campus study advisors, off-campus study ambassadors on other campuses. So maybe if there's one on another campus, you could connect them with them as well. Mm-hmm. And that's all information that's on the website too.
Absolutely.
And so maybe that would happen that there's a student who's interested in the Jordan program, and on their campus there's no one from the Jordan program. So maybe that student would email you, and you would chat with them. It's kind of similar. We're all kind of working together with the 14 different schools.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, and so I'd say that is definitely it. And then, we just overhauled our website, so there's a lot more accessible information on there. I encourage you all to glance over the website and become familiar just with the existence of programs other than the ones that you went on, so that you can help direct students who are like, oh, like, do you have anything that is Spanish speaking? And just having a little thing in the back of your brain go, I'm pretty sure there's a program in Costa Rica. In fact, there are two. And then we would be able to do some of that connection work with you. So, good question. You are speaking from your particular experience, but there are things that are inherent to all study abroad that you probably went through.
Sure, yeah.
You guys have any other questions or ideas? Are you good?
I think I'm good.
Fabulous. So in terms of next steps, thank you for hanging out on our webinar.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, and this is also really helpful because the students who couldn't make it, we're recording this and we will be sending it out to them. And so they will be able to hear your concerns, which are certainly questions that they will also have.
Absolutely.
And then next week.
Yes. Next.
Wait, are there any other questions that students or like ambassadors like this might typically ask?
Ooh, what a good question. I think part of it has to do with sort of that, like, what counts, which is why we tried to spend a fair amount of time on that, and that's also something that, like, if you've got a question, like, shoot us a quick email and be like, hey, I talked to this person, like, is this work? And be like, yeah, that was work. I'd say the other part is that everyone's financial aid package is a special snowflake, and so depending on what your campus policies are and what your particular financial aid situation is, there are, like, it could have been different for you than it would be for a student who you're talking to. And so that's something that we do not expect you all to be an expert in navigating that, like, situation. Nobody really is. So that would be one as well, that directing students particularly to your off-campus study office or other local campus resources is really good, because, like, frankly, like, helping them to figure out how much their scholarship is going to count towards this is above your pay grade, and so we don't want you to even have to worry about that. So let us know and let folks on your campus know, and that would be probably the other biggest question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you'll be back to logistics. You'll be getting an email from me Tuesday about your timesheets, and you can always email me if you have any questions that you think of after this webinar. And I'll be checking in on you throughout the semester or throughout your block, your quarter, whatever system you're on. So don't feel like we're gonna just like give you this webinar and then we're gonna let you fly and then we'll see what happens. It's not like that. We'll be checking in on you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Should be just making sure that you have all your signed in your forms for accepting this position, as well as that photo release. I sent the photo release link, and make sure you give us permission to use your photos. That way we can actually post them up on our website. I think that's the best thing.
So thank you to those who are able to join now, to those who will be joining in the future. And we're really excited about the next couple of months.
Yeah, welcome. We're excited to have you.
Yes, we are.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Adios.
Bye.